I'm going to go and try to deliver. Here with a delegation of unemployed workers. I would love to Tony and deliver him this petition.
From Tony.
The door. It's one of these doors where I can't even feed paper underneath it. I'm not sure if we can stick pages to the door. We've been talking to this government basically since last year to not vote this piece of shit Workforce Australia through. They didn't listen to us. They voted it through. We've been talking to them for months about how awful the system is, how much pain and injury it's going to cause unemployed workers. They're refusing to listen. We've been calling their offices, we've been emailing them, we sent them a report, we sent them a survey of 400 of our members. They haven't responded at all. We've told them we're going to be here today and we want to talk to them about the pain that putting unemployed workers through. And what do? They lock the fucking door. This is that new government. Shame! Do I want to talk to unemployed people? Want us to just like cop this new system in silence? This is why we're here today. Because welfare recipients, we're not going to cop this bullshit anymore. And we want to send a firm message to this government that we're not going to silently cop this new brutal system of mutual obligations. We're not going to cop Workforce Australia lying down. We're not going to put up with this new points-based system and remain silent. We're going to keep demanding what we're all entitled to, a decent welfare system, a livable income of at least $88 a day, at least the Henderson poverty line, and a system free from mutual obligations, which we know basically kick poor people for living in poverty, which we know will start punishing and payment suspending people en masse. We deserve better. We deserve better than this. We deserve better than a locked door and a minister who doesn't give a shit about our lives. Yeah. Yeah. Tracy, do you want to say a few words? I'm just going to hand over to the president of the AWU and our advocacy coordinator.
I'm the co-coordinator for the advocacy line. I ran the line for 3 years. I'm also the current president of the Unemployed Workers Union. What we see on the advocacy line is heartbreaking. And it goes from people that are on youth allowance to people that are on the age pension. The biggest group of people that call us are over 60. With terminal illnesses that under the previous government let die other than get them on the DSP. This needs to change. Getting on the DSP needs to change. Most of the people stuck in Stream C that need to be on the DSP are women over the age of 50. They can't get out because the job networks make too much money from them. This is illegal. It's fraud. It has to stop. I'm in DES myself, but I will continue to fight for these people that are on Job Active. What this government is doing is wrong. They wanted to talk to us when they were in opposition. They wanted to, all the information we could give them, we gave. Now they're in government, they don't want to even know us.
Shame.
How are they supposed to run a country when they don't talk to the people that are the most vulnerable and look after the most vulnerable? It has to change.
Yeah. Shame, Tony.
Shame.
This is a 34-page submission. We sent out a survey when we started to get flooded on the advocacy of people scared and confused and worried about their lives. We captured, as part of this survey, significant concern. In fact, 93.2% of all respondents, 351, 93% of them have massive fears of a severe negative impact to their lives from the automation that's contained in the PBAS. Nothing Tony Burke has done has addressed any of the major concerns people have. They are many. And when we submitted this report to the Department cancelled their stakeholder meeting with us 18 minutes later. And yesterday, at the 11th hour, when they knew we were coming to Tony's office to see a locked door, they told us, thanks for your submission, we don't agree with it. They didn't engage with any of the 11 recommendations that we made, the background, the key issues, and then 30 pages of reference analysis accompanying that. They didn't respond to any of that, and we busted our gut to do their job for them. Where is their obligation to us? They are not even internally consistent in their logic. And so we say to you, Tony, come out, talk to us, Tony, and actually have that chat about what your policy that came in under the Hawke-Keating government in the mid-80s and 90s are doing to people's lives. Because we know you aren't the ones dealing with the damage. We refer them to your constituent offices all the time, only to be met with silence. They have no support from you individually, and certainly not systemically, and none of you seem to care about the damage that you are doing. We're sick of it. It needs to change. Talk to us. Stop ducking this.
I'm Jay from the Anti-Poverty Centre. The beginning of Workforce Australia actually heralds a really fundamental change in the way that welfare is delivered in this country. What we're seeing is the automation of welfare, and it's going to be fully digital. People are not going to have the support that their job active should actually be. They should be, representatives of the community where people can go, whether that's for a job, for social services, or for food, or just somebody to be able to talk to help them. No, what they're doing is they're putting them through a game. They're putting them through a digital game, and the people behind those desks are now at the steering wheel of a fully automated digital courthouse. What's going to happen is people are joining the unemployed queue soon as well. So it is disgusting that the minister, so-called minister, can close his doors to people. It is disgusting behaviour, and that's you expect nothing less. So yeah.
It doesn't seem like he wants to come out and have anything to do with us. We do have people here. We are streaming online for our members. I think we want to open the floor, especially for folks who are here who are suffering under this new system. If you'd like to come up, share anything about your story, make your voice heard. Very keen to give you that opportunity. If anyone wants to say any words. Get amongst it.
My name's Dice. Well, my friends know me as Dice. Been a busker for a while. As a busking musician, I have no rights at all. I can't even contain such a thing as stable job security for me as a busker, because on the streets, playing for people, not charging a cent. Why do I do it that way? Because I believe that everyone should have the right to do what they want to do, and what they're good at doing, and what brings them actual joy, happiness, the passion of life, the fire of life. Yeah. So, to see this shit happening day in, day out, it pisses me off. It should who's with me?
Yeah. Who else wants to spread some fire? Completely agree. Everyone have the free to do whatever they like without threat of this shitty system.
I'm Erin. Hi, Erin. I'm thankfully not subject to this work. I'm in debt. But what I've heard, people in debt will be subject to it in 12 months.
Yeah.
And right. That's just one. Okay, so I was tortured for a year in job active. My employment consultant had 3 panic attacks. When they accused me of shirking, well, they just inappropriate work, they were going to report me to Silicon and question me. I have a severe anxiety disorder. They wanted me to do fucking cold calling.
Shame.
Yeah.
So this is, it's absolute bullshit. If I was to enjoy active, I could not accumulate enough points to not get cut off. It's just not on. So fuck you, you fucking eating coward.
Members who come here today to share their story. They'll have to deal with them much more. Again, one thing that anyone's being put through this system, but we hear from so many people over 60 that who are being forced into this system. Like an AEW member who told us, I'm 60 years old with spinal stenosis and 28 burst varicose veins in my legs, which means I wear medical grade compression stockings 24/7. I cannot sit more than 8 minutes at a time. Standing is also no longer possible. I applied for the disability support pension times, only to be rejected 4 times and ignored the other 4 times. I'm currently doing voluntary work for mutual obligations. This person's been forced into mutual obligations. Frankly, I'm disgusted with Labour bringing in this stupid point system, whereby those of us on voluntary work will only get 15 stupid points a week. That's Lisa. This is another person, this cow, that doesn't want to hear from, doesn't want to talk to, isn't making any phone calls. Fucking disgrace. I'm not sure. I'm sure we've all seen the new point, and saying that starting a job as part of the possible 100, and this member has a few words to say about it. Starting with, why is only worth 50 points? Isn't this mandatory humanizing experiment made to help us gain performance? What more do we have to do for you? You treat us poorly and give us scraps. At least treat us like humans, as your citizens.
Yeah.
Another thing we've been hearing from is the psychological toll this new system has on people. Job Active was already pushing people to the brink of this new system. We're getting so many calls, emails, messages on social media of people in pure panic. And here's one of them. Quote, I've told my psychologist because if this happens, it will put me at risk of suicide. I'm so scared I'm going to end up in that dark place again, and I don't want to go back there. This is what this system is doing to people. This is what we call a welfare system in this country. That isn't lifting people up, that isn't helping them. It's state-mandated torture. Good word. And again, another person this minister won't talk to. We've been very strong in our rhetoric this week that there will be blood on the Labour government's hands if they continue this up. We've seen this in the welfare system for decades. We've seen this with road debt. We've seen this with all sorts of torturous policies. If they don't change tack dramatically, we'll lose people like this, and the blood will be on their hands. Again, another member says, all right, this system is designed to dehumanize people instead of helping them. You're killing people. You're killing them and you don't care because you've designated them to be undesirable. Quote, the unemployed can't endure more pointless automation. This is a system created with contempt and disregard for the well-being of the unemployed. At its best, it's created
We're doing it all over again. Yeah!
and I won't go through all of them, but we have dozens of these, hundreds of stories, people calling us all the time. Because this man and this government won't listen to them, won't take their misery and poverty seriously, and won't choose to help them during a cost of living emergency. Before I continue wrap up, does anyone else here want to get up and say any words? Otherwise, I think we might go to the other side. I'm going to start sticking some of these more in contest.
Hello, I'm actually unemployed. I was the statistician involved with this. And what I wanted to say about it, aside from what Daniel has already said regarding the anticipated misery of the mated system is that we know that this does not work. During COVID, we had the biggest experiment possible on the founding principles of our mutual obligation system, which is one, that people who are unemployed must be in poverty or they will not be incentivized to find work. And two, that people who are unemployed must turn the hamster wheel to provide evidence that they are in fact looking for work. And what we found during COVID, when mutual obligations were suspended, when the rate of the unemployment benefit was doubled, slightly more than doubled, something like that, was that all of a sudden people started finding work.
Yes.
And this was in the midst of all of the layoffs, all of the unemployment that came from the onset of COVID, that came from so many businesses closing. People found work. And that is an immediate refutation of those fundamental principles of the welfare system. We also know that the job providers, these job service providers, do not help people. They are there to maximize their own profits. They are there basically to punish people for not jumping through hoops the right way.
They're torturers.
They are in many respects. And prior to those privatized systems, you had a Commonwealth job service, which had a much greater success rate in getting people into work, who were privatized precisely because they were not willing to punish unemployed people. This is why one of the demands of the AU is to renationalize that job service.
Yes.
Yes. To enable it to be a public service as opposed to a private property event.
Yes.
So we have this evidence that the system doesn't work. We know that this automation is going to hurt people. Why? Because they want to. That's the only process going on. They want to hurt people who are unemployed.
Stop it, misery. Yes.
We've got targets for Tony himself.
Yes, it's target.
Oh,
He's come up with a bullshit point system for us, so we thought we'd come up with a better one. Yeah, so raise the rate probably like 50, abolishing mutual obligations gets him 30, and so on. Talking to a poor person, which we to today, and throughout his tenure. So today, scrapping work for the dog is something the media hasn't talked about much yet, but the work for the dog requirement under the Workforce Australia is much more intensive. It's full time. So it's full time. It only gets you full time. It only gets you 8 points to do up to 50 hours a fortnight of work for the dog. You have to find technically 40 odd cents an hour. I think it's 45 or 46. Active, people of course who work for the dollar for 6 months in the system. Under Workforce Australia, it's down to 3 months. So we're going to start again, 3 months now of people being forced into work for the dollar. A brutal, dehumanizing system that's already killed one Josh Parker as a program.
What on the hands? Now we can also look for work if we're forced full-time job to work with the dog. We can't.
That's the point of the system. They don't want us to escape it. They want us to keep suffering. So the Serena Russos and Max Employments and APMs can keep churning out profits of that misery. So, given we have all these posters here still, we want to make sure Tony has a chance to read as many as possible. I invite everyone. I assume this is legally sound. to start gluing the backs of them. If people want to come up and stick any of these cards and help me do that.
I reckon we should put some like basic English, so whoever has to sit at that desk has to read the poster.
oh,
Yes. Let's face first. Right.